So, good morning everyone. We are Group 7 and our topic po for today's is about learners with emotional and behavioral disabilities. So, sa table of contents is matatakal po natin yung definition ng learners with um, emotional and behavioral disabilities. So, meron rin signs and symptoms, causes, characteristics, diagnosis, support and strategies, and also common assistive devices or inventions. So, let's start. What is learners with emotional and behavioral disabilities? So, sabi dito is, learners with emotional and behavioral disabilities or EVD is experience difficulties in emotional regulation and behavior, which significantly impact their ability to learn and interact with others in an educational setting. So, ang mga learners with emotional and behavioral disabilities daw is ito yung mga taong nahihirapang kontrolin ang kanilang emosyon at asal na malaking epekto sa kanilang pagkatuto or pag-aaral or pakikisalamuhan nila sa loob ng paaralan. And also, the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act or the IDEA defines emotional disturbance as a condition exhibiting one or more the following characteristics over a long period and to marked degree adversely affecting educational performance. So, ayon daw sa IDEA or um, Individuals with Disabilities Education Act is ang emotional disturbance daw ay isang kondisyon na nagpapakita ng isa o higit sa mga sumusunod na hakbang. And ito yung mga hakbang na panahon at matinding antas na nakakaapekto sa kakayahang matuto ng isang learners with emotional and behavioral disabilities. First is an inability to learn that cannot be explained by intellectual, sensory, of health or health factors. Dito is yung mga kawalan ng kakayahang matuto ng isang learners na hindi maipaliwanag or hindi maipapaliwanag yung kanilang katalinuhan or pandama or kalusugan. And second is an inability to build or maintain satisfactory interpersonal relationship with peers and teachers. Dito is hirap sa pagkakaroon or pagpapanatili ng magandang relasyon nila sa mga kapwa nila mag-aaral or sa kanilang guro. And number 3 is inappropriate types of behavior or feelings under normal circumstances. So dito yung mga hindi angkop sa asal nila or sa damdamin sa karaniwan nilang sitwasyon. And dito sa pang-apat is a general pervasive mood or unhappiness or depressions. Dito is yung parang palagi nilang nararamdaman na may kalungkutan sila or nafe-feel nila yung depression. And last is a tendency to develop physical symptoms or fears associated with personal or school problems. So dito is madalas na pagdanas nila ng physical symptoms or takot na may kaugnayan sa kanilang personal or sa school. And example nito is sa school is kunwari si Maria ay palagi siyang palaging galit or sumisigaw sa kanilang klase. At kahit doon is wala siyang malinaw na dahilan sa kanyang paggalit or pagsigaw sa kanilang klase. And by that is nahihirapan siyang makipagkaibigan at siya is palaging malungkot. Yun yung example ng learners with emotional and behavioral. So, second is, punta naman tayo sa symptoms and sign and symptoms. So, first, dito tayo sa emotional symptoms. Emotional symptoms. Sabi dito is frequent mood swings, excessive anxiety, or persistent sadness. So, dito is yung bata is madalas na pabago-bago yung kanyang mood. Kunwari, sa example, si Maria, sa kanilang loob na sa loob ng paaralan. Kunwari, sa lagi siyang galit, tapos minsan naman lagi siyang masaya or laging malungkot. And doon is pabago-bago yung mood swings niya. And excessive anxiety is labis na pagkabahala and matagal na kalungkutan. And second is low self-esteem or lack of confidence. Dito is yung mababa ang kanyang confidence sa sarili niya. Kunwari, dun sa school nila, lagi siyang mahiyain, nandun lang siya sa gilid, nag-iisa, kasi wala siyang lack of confidence para makipag-usap man or makipagsalita man sa kapwa niya tao. So, the third one is difficult handling frustration or disappointment. Dito is yung may mga learners with emotional and behavioral disabilities is hirap daw silang harapin ang kanilang pagkabigo. For example, may nagawa silang mali. So, doon is parang nahihirapan sila tanggapin kung ano yung nagawa nilang kasalanan. And fourth is extreme fearfulness or withdrawal from social situation. Dito is yung matindi nilang takot or pag-iwas nila sa ibang tao. And next is the behavioral symptoms. Sabi dito, number 1 is frequent outbursts of anger or aggression toward peers and teachers. Dito is parang madalas silang pagalit or masyado silang mainitin yung kanilang ulo or agresibong reaction. Kunwari parang may sinabi ka sa kanya, parang hindi niya nagustuhan, doon is mas madalas siyang galit or sa mga agresibong reaksyon. So, number 2 is defiance non-compliance or refusal to follow rules. Dito, yung may mga emotional and behavioral disabilities is mahirap silang sumunod or hindi sila sumusunod sa kanilang guro or sa kanilang rules doon sa loob ng paaralan. And number 3 is impulsivity or difficulty controlling actions. So dito is parang padalos-dalos yung kanilang desisyon sa kanilang kinikilos or dito is hindi nila iniisip yung kanilang ikikilos. And number 4 is engaging in self-harm or risky behaviors. Dito is parang pananakit nila sa kanilang sarili or mga panganib na kanilang gagawin sa kanilang sarili. And last is social withdrawal or avoidance of interactions. Dito is yung parang pag-iwas nila sa mga tao or pag-iwas sila sa pakikisalamuha nila sa ibang tao. And also, signs and symptoms is academic impact. Yung mga makaka-apekto sa kanilang pag-aaral. First is difficulty focusing and completing assignments. Dito is hirap silang makapag-concentrate and hirap nilang tapusin ang kanilang takdang aralin. And second is lower academic performance despite adequate intelligence. Dito is yung parang mababa yung kanilang marka kahit sapat naman yung kanilang kahit may sapat naman silang talino. And last is avoidance of schoolwork or frequent absences. Dito is parang madalas silang lumiliban or umiiwas sa kanilang schoolwork kasi nga ang mga may learners with emotional and behavioral disabilities is ayaw nilang nakikisalamuha sa mga ibang tao or wala silang confidence, sabi ko nga kanina, di ba? So, example is yung si Juan is bihirang pumasok sa kanyang paaralan and kapag nandun siya sa loob kasi ng paaralan, hindi siya nakikipag-usap and palagi siyang nakatingin sa sahig, parang wala siyang confidence nga sa sarili. And dito is hindi rin siya sumusunod sa kanilang guro and tumatanggi siya sa gawain nila sa klase, like that. And sa causes naman tayo, and sabi dito is meron siyang biological factors. One is genetic predisposition to mental health disorders. Ang mga may EBD or emotional and behavioral disabilities is sa genetic, parang dito is namamana nila yung kondisyon sa kanilang kalusugan or ng kalusugan ng kanilang pag-iisip. So, second is neurochemical imbalances affecting mood and behavior. Dito is yung mga imbalance na parang sa mga chemical nila sa utak, kumbaga, ganon. And sa prenatal exposure to drugs, alcohol, or toxins. Yung parang, dito is yung parang pinagbubuntis pa lang siya ng nanay niya is parang nakakaapekto yun sa pag-inom ng alak or mga gamot habang pinagbubuntis niya yung bata. And last is neurological condition affecting emotional regulation. Dito naman is yung may problema sa utak na may kinalaman sa kanilang emosyon. And dito naman tayo sa environmental factors, family instability including divorce, abuse, or neglect. Dito is parang yung sa environment niya is yung parang problema sa kanilang pamilya like hiwalayan or pang-aabuso or kapabayaan ng kanyang pamilya. Parang nagkakaroon siya doon ng depression or anxiety. And second one is exposure to violence or trauma or chronic stress. Dito is pagkabiktima ng karanasan or trauma ng bata dahil nga sa kanilang environment and lack of consistent discipline or positive role models. Dito is yung kawalan ng gabay ng kanyang magulang or walang disiplina sa kanilang bahay. And last cause is for environmental is peer rejection or social isolation. Dito is parang hindi tinatanggap ng mga kalaro niya yung kanyang sakit or disabilities. Kaya siya mas nagtitrigger yung pagka-emotional and behavioral disabilities niya. So let's go to third one is psychological and social factors. One is difficult coping with stress or anxiety. Dito is hirap niyang harapin yung kanyang stress. Parang yun nga yung nagkaka-trauma siya, yung natitrigger siya. And second one is negative or self-perception or experience of failure. Dito is yung parang, sabi ko nga kanina, wala siyang lack of confidence. Dito is yung mababang pagtingin niya sa kanyang sarili. And third one is learned behaviors from disruptive home or school environments. Dito is parang mas may natutunan siyang maling asal mula sa bahay or kanyang paaralan. So ito yung mga cause ng merong EBD or learners with emotional and behavioral disabilities. So next.
Magandang hapon po sa ating lahat, especially to Ma'am Rosemary. So, ngayon po, magpapakilala po ako. Ako si Sheila Ann Orebelio. So, for now, kailangan po natin i-discuss at explain kung bakit ano yung topic ngayon na napunta sa atin and ano nga ba yung number 4 na characteristics. So, babasahin ko po muna siya. So, emotional and behavioral disorders, EBD, show up in early childhood and adolescence, appearing as academic and behavioral struggles. However, these signs and manifestations are often misunderstood, leading to delayed diagnosis and interventions. Learners with emotional and behavioral disorders may display a range of characteristics including difficulties with self-regulation, interpersonal relationship, and academic performance. These difficulties can manifest in various ways, such as impulsivity, aggression, social withdrawal, and learning challenges. So, ano nga ba yun? Para sa akin, sila yung dapat tutukan, lalo na sa mga behavior nila. Kumbaga, lalo na sa school. So, siguro hindi madaling kontrolin yung mga emosyon nila at kilos ng mga bata. Hindi dapat sila padalos-dalos o madaling, or dapat gumawa ka ng way na hindi dapat sila madaling magalit. Ganun. Then, nahirapan sila siguro, para sa akin siguro is masyado silang nahihirapan siguro sa pakikipagkaibigan siguro, dahil minsan siguro yung mga tao is masama yung pakikitungo nila, or hindi tulad or mga ibang taong akala nila is may mga may mga ganito ganyan, ganun po. So siguro, para sa akin din, yung performance nila is maaari din sigurong bumaba dahil sa kakulangan ng interaction, o dahil siguro sa mga behavior na meron sila, or sa stress na madadaanan ng mga bata. Ganun po. Let's proceed to number 5 po, sorry. So, number 5, learners are diagnosed with specific learning disorders through a combination of assessment and observation, typically involving standardized tests and evaluations of skills. So, bakit nga ba tinatawag na specific learning disorders? So, yung specific learners disorder, based on my research, so, ang SLD daw ay isang kondisyon kung saan daw yung isang bata is nahihirapan daw siya sa pagkatutok, or di kaya yung pagbabasa and then pagsusulat kahit mataas or normal yung IQ ng bata. So, ano nga dapat gawin ng guro o ng magulang para sa batang may SLD? So, dapat siguro is dapat turuan sila, or ipatingin sa specialist para kung sakaling may problema pala, dapat may i-recommenda yung specialist sa bata at dapat kung ano yung gawin ng mga magulang o guro para sa batang iyon. Let's proceed to number 5 pa rin po. So, gifted learners are typically identified through a combination of standardized testing, teacher observation, and performance-based assessment. So, ang gifted learners daw, yun yung children who are gifted are identified as those demonstrate an advanced ability or potential in one or more specific areas when compared to other the same age, experience, or environment. These gifted individuals excel in their ability to think, reason, and judge, making it necessary for them to receive special educational services and support to able to fully develop their potential and talents. And yun nga po, kakasabi ko lang, yun yung gifted na learners na dapat masaksihan pa kung ano yung dapat masaksihan ng mga tao sa mga batang iyon. Yun po.
Next, we have support and strategies for learners with ABD. And una na rito yung positive behavior support kung saan tinuturuan ng mga students kung ano ang good behavior. Halimbawa, pagiging respectful or following instructions. Kapag ginawa nila ito, they given praise or reward. And importante rin na may malinaw ang mga rules and consistent na routines para alam nila ang flow ng classroom at maging mas comfortable sila. And second one, individualized plans. Kasi 'di ba, hindi lahat ng estudyante ay parehan ng needs, kaya meron tayong individualized plan at behavior intervention plan. Dito nakalagay ang specific goals at strategies para matulungan sila based sa kanilang sitwasyon, based sa kanilang needs. And the third one, social emotional learning, dahil karamihan sa kanila ay may struggle sa emotions. Tinuturuan sila ng skills gaya ng self-control, empathy at problem solving. Nakakatulong ito para makisama sila sa iba at matutong i-handle ang kanilang feelings when they feeling overwhelmed. And four, structured environment. Sa classroom, dapat predictable ang routine. Gumagamit tayo ng visual aids gaya ng classroom schedule, behavior charts, and may mga calm spaces din kung saan pwedeng pahinga ang estudyante kung na-overwhelm na sila sa kanilang emotions. And lastly, strong relationships. We should build a strong relationship with them, kasi ang mga batang may ABD ay mas responsive kapag alam nilang may teacher na nagmamalasakit at umuunawa sa kanila. Kapag may trust, mas nagiging open sila to learn and grow. And next slide is may mga common assistive devices or interventions dito. Is naglagay ako ng 3. Una narito yung noise cancelling headphones. Para ito sa mga batang sensitive sa sounds. And binabawasan nito yung distraction sa paligid para makapag-focus sila. Second, mga fidget tools kung saan itong maliit na bagay, kunyari mga stress ball na ginagamit para pampakalma o para makapag-focus sila kapag sila ay nai-istorbo or kinakabahan. The third one is a safe space, kung isang area sa classroom kung saan pwede silang pumunta para magpahinga emotionally at ma-regulate ang feelings nila when they feel overwhelmed. In conclusion, learners with emotional and behavioral disability face unique challenges that significantly impact their academic performance and social interactions and emotional well-being. These challenges stem from a combination of biological, environmental, and psychological factors and often manifest through a variety of emotional and behavioral symptoms. Recognizing the signs early in understanding the underlying causes are essential for providing effective support. With the right interventions, such as individualized education plans, positive behavior support, structured environment, and assistive tools, educators can create a safe, supportive learning environment where students with EBD can thrive. Building strong relationships, teaching social emotional skills, and promoting understanding among peers also play a critical role in helping these learners reach their uh, potential. By fostering empathy, patience, and collaboration between educators, families, and support professionals, we can ensure that every learner, regardless of their emotional and behavioral challenges, has the opportunity to succeed in school and beyond. In short, learners with emotional and behavioral disability face unique challenges, but with early recognition, support strategies like EPS and SEL and strong relationship, they can thrive both in school and beyond.